Kia ora.
Kia ora, Davis.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker. Tērā tētai kianga kei roto i tō tātou reo rangatira, tō tātou reo a tāhua e pēnei ana, ko taka te kapa. Ako nei hau e whakapākia tio e nei kōrero kia mōhio te katoa. Engari, i rongo ake a hau i ngā kōrero te tuahine a Meka, nāni ki mai ko tōna whānau o ngā rōpiha ka whakapapa atu ki tēnei wāhi whenua o Papawai. Ko rongo a hau i te ingoa rōpiha, ko taka te kapa i te mea he uri a hau hoki no nā rōpiha, no roto Ngāti Kahunanga. Ko tōku tūpuna a pānapa tuari, kua whiwhi tōku pāpa i tau ingoa, nāni i moi i a arapera rōpiha. Ko puta ko Māora pānapa, ko moi i a Uru Davis, ko puta ko Walton. Ko moi i a Maki, ko puta ko pānapa, ara ko tōku pāpā, ko moi tōku māma, ko puta ko hau. Nā tērā pēr aku tamariki, mā rātou hoki e whiwhi tētahi o ene e karahipi. Nā reira, ko taka te kapa. Mr. Speaker, I was just saying that in our beautiful Māori language, there's a saying that says, ko taka te kapa, which means the penny has dropped. Obviously, it's not a traditional saying from 500 years ago and that we didn't have pennies in our currency. But when I heard Meka stand and say that the Rōpiha whānau whakapapas to the Papawai Trust, and that's a connection she has, the penny dropped, or the light bulb went off in my head, and I went, oh, crikey. I'm a descendant of the Rōpiha whānau as well through my kahunungu side. So, and I just laid out that whakapapa. Arapira Rōpiha married a fellow called Pānapa Tuari, who had Māora Pānapa who married Uru Davis. My great-grandfather, who had obviously my grandfather Walton, my grandmother married my grandmother, had my father, whose name was also Pānapa, from Kahunungu. And obviously I came from that union. So, and then I said, I guess now my children might be able to qualify for one of these scholarships from the Papawai Kaikokirikiri. Actually, there's another connection to us Kahunungu from up. Not many people know that Kahunungu, although they're sort of domiciled on the east coast around Hawke's Bay, Kahunungu was actually born up in the very far north, and we knew him as Kahunuhunu. And I was actually visiting a kaumātua in Te Hāpua, right up the very far north, a couple of miles south of the North Cape, and he said, come and stand here and look out my kitchen window, and you see that maunga there. The maunga is called Whariru, and that's where Kahunuhunu was born. So that was interesting, because there's another story saying that he was born further south around Kaitaia. But Kahunungu, as we all know, was born up in the north and moved down south. He was a bit of a womanizer. He had a number of wives, and I think Henry VIII, yes. So, getting back to the bill. Just a little bit of history there, Mr. Speaker. Getting back to the bill, and I'd just like to acknowledge the member for Wairarapa who's brought this bill on behalf of the Papawai and Kaikokirikiri Trust. Just before I do that too, sorry, the bill, there is a part we debated about whether this bill should be in both languages, and in the end it was just going to be too hard to have the bill in both languages for various reasons. But kei te hihia hau te huriatu ki te kaimā takitaki ara ko Andrew Judd, te koromatua o ngā motu. Mihi atu ki a koe, Andrew, mō tō kaha tautoko i tō tātou reo Māori, ngā tikanga Māori wera ahuatanga katoa. No doubt, I'm sure, Andrew, that you would agree, you would like to see bills written in both languages. But that was something that we explored. It was just going to be a bit difficult, but in the future it's something that we should really, in the Māori Affairs Select Committee, look at dual language bills right from the outset. The Papawai Kaikokirikiri, as the member from Wairarapa started off by saying, it was set up on lands to establish a Māori school. The Māori school was there for a while, and I think it was the 1930s. The school burnt down. They weren't able to re-establish the school, but instead they used funds for these scholarships, which were to be distributed to descendants, Māori children of Ngāti Kahungunu descent in the first instance, Māori children from the East Coast, and then Māori children from throughout New Zealand. The new bill is now saying, let's not say Ngāti Kahungunu and Ngāti Rangitane, sorry, let's just talk about the children who descend from Wairarapa. I actually learnt the hard way about confusing or mentioning Ngāti Kahungunu and Rangitane in the same breath when I got the boot from Parliament in 2011. Soon afterwards I went down to Dannevirke because my cousin was having a porphyry as the new police sergeant in Dannevirke. And when I got there, I said to one of the people, gee, just who exactly are the local people that I need to acknowledge? Is it Kahungunu? Well, I just about had my head bitten off. I said, don't you dare say Kahungunu here, it's Rangitane you must acknowledge. So to avoid getting into any sort of conflicts, I think it's actually great that we just talk about children who descend from Wairarapa and not make that differentiation between Kahungunu and Rangitane. I'd hate to start another land war. The scholarships were to go towards children attending Anglican schools, and we know that we've had a rich history of Anglican education through St. Stephen's, Queen Victoria, Te Aute, Hokarere, those schools. Sadly, that's falling off, and those schools are falling off, so it's appropriate that actually the funds don't go just to children who are attending Anglican schooling or Anglican children, but they just go out to all Māori children to support education. I mean, most people remember that I was an educator for 20-odd years, funding and receiving financial assistance for education is a big thing. That whole poverty and lack of finance is actually a barrier to many children achieving in education as they should. It's also been mentioned that the bill, Clause 5 was inconsistent with the Bill of Rights, and the language has been refined to make sure that people who have mental health issues aren't discriminated against, and I believe that is just the right move to make. I mean, just because somebody might have a mental health issue doesn't mean to say that they can't function at a certain level, and we need to remove steps that discriminate against people just because they have they're unwell in that way. The term of office, the trustees are going to be staggered so that some will have a term of 4 years, some 3 years, some 2 years, and some of 1 year. That's sensible so that that when the board turns over, you don't lose all that institutional knowledge, that there is a rolling out of the old and in of the new, although board members who have been voted out may still be able to come back in again in the next election. It's been a pleasure on the Māori Affairs Select Committee to go through this bill. I think it's going to help those children from the Wairarapa who, with their educational, help them access education, and so we commend this bill. Kia ora.
Koe, Mr. Speaker.
Joanne Hugh.